Mark, hi guys, where do you want to go for the holidays? Frank, my parents have a house on the lake and the days of the fair are approaching. Steven, I think it's a good idea. Michael, let's plan the exit. How about leaving tomorrow morning? Frank, I think it's fine. I call my father to take us. Steven, that's cool. And we could make a barbecue. Mark, of course, tomorrow we must buy all kinds of food and ingredients for the barbecue. As night fell, the boys began to different activities. Mark went to cut apples next to the house. Frank decided to eat the roast they prepared. Michael was observing the animals with a telescope. And finally, Stephen left to look for firewood for the campfire of another night.
When he told the rest of the group, they laughed at him and told him he was lying, that maybe it was some animal that was there. After eating, they wanted to go to the lake to have fun for a while. Everything was going well until Stephen noticed something in the forest again. This time, he saw a very tall and big thing, almost without clothes, rough skin and teeth, bloody claws. He saw how he decapitated an animal. He was a little far away and only saw his silhouette, but he thought that maybe he imagined it again and decided to just run for the place, and decided not to tell his friends. Night fell. They made a fire with the wood left over from the barbecue. They were telling histories when suddenly everyone heard something and left it with chills. Someone had whispered, "Guys, we have you watch." To which, after much reasoning, they wanted to go to investigate what that had been. They prepared a flashlight, their cell phones, and a baseball bat. Altogether, they entered the forest at midnight. Still did not see the tall and strong men they saw in the morning, until in the distance there was a cabin looking a little bit older and abandoned. They lit up there, and to their surprise, they found something. They got a little bit closer. They realized that it had a creepy appearance. A man with large white eyes, and there was a disgusting smell. The monster, facing a body too emaciated by some violent acts already executed every year. He begins
They
to
run in
toward
different
them.
directions.
The young
The
people,
boys split
frightened
up,
by the presence
each
and
running
action of that
on
being.
their own.
The only thing they have in
Michael,
mind
being
is
the one who went north,
the whole aspect
learns
of
that
being
he's alone,
is incredibly
facing the
impressive.
vast forest, with the trees howling around him. He starts shouting the names of Mark, Steven, and Frank. He waits without any answer. Scared, Michael just starts running and running. At some point, he returns to that cabin where he found the monster and the dead body. He hears noise, so he decides to enter, where he finds a shotgun and bullets. With some classes that his grandfather gave him, he begins to reload the weapon with his best attempt, and hits the shoulder mate and goes in search of others. Steven, which running south, panics and finds nothing to do. He just runs and reaches the lake again. Releasing Daddy alone, he decides to go to the house where they have left their things. He looks for help using a phone, and it is the first thing that comes to mind. But he looks at the signal bar of the cell phone and is surprised that the signal is very weak. With hopes down, he finds nothing that can help him. He keeps searching inside the belongings. Mark decides to run to the house without looking back, until he collides with a tree branch. In the midst of his daze, he feels how something grabs his arms and drags him. He turns around scared, about to scream, until he realizes that his friend Frank is holding him.
Went straight to the home. When they arrive, they close all the windows and doors. They also look for anything with which they could defend themselves. Having done this, they decide to barricade themselves in the largest room of the house. On the second floor, and see what was happening outside through the security cameras, also looking for their friends in an intelligent way. They could put one of their robots, a drone, into operation. As Mark watched, he found that thing that was trying to attack them. He saw it and quickly realized that it were actually two of them. When this happened, one of them ran off, following the path that led out the house, while the other, he ran to a random spot in the woods, probably to one of his friends. Mark saw Frank, who was alert and moving the thing away from the control room. The monster reached the door, and although he tried, he couldn't open the door. He tried to tear off bars of the window, but they were very hard and he couldn't bend them enough. So he went through the hole in the chimney. That thing was locked up with them at the home. Mark followed the other one with the drone. That thing was very fast. It was heading towards an abandoned cabin. It was going to crash, but at one point he heard a gunshot. Frank on the cameras and Michael at the lake heard it too. Then they heard a second. Michael ran towards the sound because he was sure it was one of his friends. Near the place, he also saw the drone lights in the sky and knew he was safe. He was reunited with Steven and the corpse of the disgusting being, smelling in sulfur and with the last breath saying, "So close to being free." After that, they support each other and give each other courage to endure that terrified night. Then they follow the drone until they reach the cabin. Frank, at the moment, felt cut blood. One of those things that was looking directly at one of the cameras. He seemed to know what they were coming for, and as he tried to get to them, the approach, the room where they were, nimbly began to turn on the lights in the house, in the television in one of the others' rooms, and the stereos.
To storm him, but finally, when was about to break the door where they were startled and fell to the ground, crying the pain, he had heard the shot and somehow it had also affected him. He ran toward the place of the shot going up the chimney again. He told Mark to take the another way as fast as possible, but when he told him that he saw the thing about susurring his friends, he thought darkness it was very difficult to fight or shoot something. The final monster launched themselves at them, but Mark turned on the drum's powerful flashlight, something that made him let out every loud infernal scream. Stephen took the opportunity to shoot him and Michael to stamp him. Then they ran toward the house as fast as they could. Mark had the flashlight and use up almost all the battery, and they have trouble getting his friends to keep the back. Yelling, he told his friends to disable the locks. Whatever happened, his friends they were able to get in. Suddenly, was shut down some of the remote control. The drone had fallen without the power to the ground, and the thing went full speed after his friend. They were close, so Mark took off the controls and ran toward the door to help. He was about to crash, then when he, with broken broomstick, pierces the monstrosity hit while Stephen turned around as dropping towards the drug. He shot accurately, finally managing to end that nightmare. They looked at themselves in the cabin for the was left of the night, attentive to what could happen with daylight. Decided to go in the car and notify the police. When the monster arrived, they had become humans, but they were still dead, maybe as a spirit had possible them. After questioning, they left go agreed never to return to the door of Derry again. He said that the vein was the Wendigo, a vein from the mountains that possessed people who lost a hungry, consuming human flesh. When they do this, the evil spirit possessed to the search for the and kill others to feed themselves on his fare.